Hello everyone, Nate here with 911 Rapid Response, and on today's video showcase we have for you a little 1v1 action, two Ford Police Interceptors, both current model year. We're going to go over the differences and the similarities that these two vehicles have, and we'll start by saying that this vehicle here has the Whelen HHS 4206 system. This vehicle here has the Whelen Carbide with OBD2 integration in it. And we'll start by going over the more basic package. As for lighting and equipment at the front, we have the ProGuard push bumper, top rail integrating two Whelen ions, Whelen speaker mounted on the center rail, and on either side of the push bar we have the Whelen T-Ion duos. So as you can see on the push bar we have all those lights synced. Now those light heads are actually flashing themselves. There's no control system flashing them. They are programmed to a set pattern. We can't change that pattern. We cannot low power those light heads, as you'll see a little bit later on with the Carbide package. Going around to the side a little bit further, you'll see that this is an unmarked unit, and we have a red-blue T-Ion in the back, mounted on an angled bracket. And before we get too far along, we can detail the light bar, which is a 48-inch Whelen Senator Duo light bar. Red, white, blue, white to the front and corners. Red, amber, blue, amber to the rear. We'll get the amber override for the traffic advisor. And we can cruise to the rear. And as you can see, we have hideaways in the tail lamps, red on the driver's side, blue on the passenger side, and a four-head Ignite red and blue light stick in the hatch glass. Taking a look inside this vehicle for prisoner containment, OEM seats have been retained. ProGuard front recess panel partition with a center sliding window, and a ProGuard cargo barrier in the rear with the poly upper glass. And I'll have Jake pop in here with the camera. We can take a look at the console, which is Havas, vehicle specific. This is a flat console with the Whelen HHS 4206 control head there, which is the 8 push button rotary knob siren. And again, we'll touch on functionality here more towards the end of the video. All right, now that we've completed the vehicle, the unmarked unit with the HHS 4206 package, we're going to go on to the unit that has the Whelen Carbide system, and we'll start by going over the equipment that we have at the front of the vehicle. Satina push bar with the integrated Whelen ions. Those are duo in the front, integrated into the top rail there, so we have red, white, blue, white. Whelen speaker mounted on the center rail. And on either side of the push bar, we have the Whelen Ion surface mount, and those are a trio, red, blue, white. So we will get red flashing, blue flashing, white flashing, and steady white override out of those, since we do have the Carbide system incorporated here. Now, if we take a step back, we can see that the synchronization of the light heads on the front, as well as all the other light heads on the perimeter of the vehicle, are in sync with the light bar. This is possible because we have the Whelen Carbide system in this vehicle. We have total control over this system. The Carbide is actually flashing all of these light heads, so that's the reason why we're getting that true sync with all of the items involved in this package. Carbide will allow us to low power all of the perimeter lights as well. So we can low power those lights on the push bumper, in the cargo window, and on the rear hatch. And we can cruise around the side and get to more of the additions here. Before we get too far, we'll touch on the light bar. 54-inch Whelen Senator Duo. Same as the other, just the larger 54-inch platform. There are 2 modules that are inactive. This was a request from the customer. In a park mode, they want a little bit less warning, a little bit of less intensity as far as lighting goes, just for safety of the officer while on scene. We can also take a look at the graphics package added by our in-house graphics team in Market Graphics. Great work done by them. All of the projects that we have the opportunity to have the vinyl applied to. And this is actually our 4th vehicle this year for the City of Lancaster Police. Additional warning, we'll go back to the cargo window, Whelen T-Ion, red and blue, on a 90-degree bracket inside there. And going to the rear of the vehicle, again, Whelen Vertex in the tail lights, red on the driver's side, blue on the passenger side. And on the Whelen license plate bracket, we have the T-Ions, which are a duo, red and blue. Right now they're single flashing. All right, furthermore, at the rear of this vehicle, we'll take a look at what we have inside the cargo area. We have the Satina storage solution, 2-tier, 2 locking drawers, and on the bottom of an electronics tray. So top, smaller size weapons drawer. Again, key locking on the handle there. Larger storage drawer below that. And this drawer has lock-in, lock-out capability, so when we pull it out, it locks. That's not going to push back in. Depress both tabs. That will lock in. Again, key locking on the handle. And we have a lock-in, lock-out electronics tray. And here's where we get to the good stuff. As you can see, the electronics tray is full of equipment, radio, Whelen Carbide, power distribution center, modem, and Axon camera system components. And we also have an expansion module there for the additions to the Carbide system. This gives you a really good example of our work here. Our technicians do a very, very nice and neat job of wiring these vehicles. We perform an art here essentially when we are completing these units for our customers, and we take pride in our finished product. We can cruise around the side. There currently are seats back here, but we have the Satina rear cargo partition, cargo barrier, the Satina plastic replacement seat with outboard seat belts, has the center pull seat belts, and we have a Satina front partition recess panel center sliding window. Satina vertical steel window bars. And in the front, you can see a little bit of a difference here. This is the Havas vehicle specific console. It is the angled version. So we have the Whelen Carbide control head there. That's the same control head that you saw on the HHS 4206, however, it is to control the Carbide system. We have the Havas dash mount for the GTAC A140 tablet. And we have the Havas keyboard mounting option there on the swing arm. Quick release dock for the keyboard, which is a man and machine keyboard. And we also have the black rack rifle mount in the recess panel area. That console actually houses the printer. So for their e-ticket system, e-citations, that printer actually hides right there in the console. And we also have a blue and white light up on the roof. So rather than red illumination, this client opts for blue illumination for low light or nighttime in-car lighting. We also have one of those at the cargo area on the inside of the hatch trim. So you'll get that blue and white illumination overhead at nighttime. Up at the rear view mirror, you can see that we have the Axon camera system there. And now we can get onto some functionality, some comparisons, and some contrast between these two vehicles. All right, folks, so to start off a little bit of compare and contrast between the two systems that we have here, starting with the vehicle on the right. This vehicle, actually both vehicles have the low power option selected on the control head. So we give them the client a low power button to operate manually if they wish to. These light bars both have photocell options in them, so we can trigger low power with the light bar on both control systems, HHS 4206 and Carbide. The difference that you're going to see here is with low power on the vehicle to the right, we can take a look at the push bar. Those light heads are now low powered. On the vehicle to the left, only the light bar is low powered. We still have full intensity of the lighting on the push bar and around the perimeter of the vehicle. So pros and cons to the HHS system: we cannot low power all light heads. Pro to the Carbide system: we can low power the entire vehicle. Another pro for the Carbide system, something that we cannot get with the Whelen HHS 4206, is we're actually getting factory pulls from the CAN port. So with the driver door pop, we're killing the corner of the light bar. That's not something that we can do. We don't have CAN port input with the HHS system. So killing the corners with signals from the vehicle, that is a plus for the Carbide system. We can get park signals, we can get trans-range signals, we can get a multitude of signals from the vehicle and not have to splice into wires, factory harnesses, and things like that to obtain functionality. So the door is basically an on-off switch. Door open is an off trigger. Door close is an on trigger. Same with the alley light. That alley light will off with the door open and on with the door off. So that's a little bit of a safety feature for the officer, just help him keep his mind and eyes on the job. It's not going to blind him walking up to the vehicle and getting in and out of the vehicle. As you can see, even in low power here, white is always at full intensity. So we do not low power white lighting. That's something that we can do on the light bar as well with the Whelen HHS 4206. However, not getting any low power functionality there on the perimeter lighting. Again, we'll do a full scene function. So all of our lighting now around this vehicle is steady burning. So we get dual functionality out of the white lighting on the Carbide system. We're also able to make that flash as well as function with steady burn. All right, on to some differences at the back of the vehicle here. And we really don't have any Carbide features that are going on at the rear of the vehicle, but what we do have going on is both vehicles' control systems are currently in a park setting with the traffic advisor in center out mode. So the vehicle on the left, you're going to see the center out traffic advisor alternate with an emergency warning flash, or essentially the basic park program. We call that a traffic advisor tumbler. So essentially every 8 seconds, I believe it's 8 seconds, the traffic advisor will go, and then for 8 seconds it will go back to emergency flashing. That's to break up that amber warning a little bit and just signify a little bit more to the rear of the vehicle that this is a police vehicle, rather than maybe thinking it's a public works vehicle or a PennDOT vehicle. If you're not from Pennsylvania, that's what we call our highway guys, PennDOT. But the vehicle to the right does not have the Traffic Advisor tumbler active. Now, we can do a Traffic Advisor tumbler with the Whelen HHS 4206. That is something we can program with the command software. The software is capable of cooperating with the light bar and making it do those things via events, so on and so forth. It's just a request of the customer, and we'd be able to provide that function even with an HHS 4206. All right, folks, now we're going to take a look at the vehicle with the carbide system installed. And right now I have the vehicle in neutral, parking brake active. I'm going to go ahead and disengage that. So we're in a position 3 or a priority mode, so we have all of our white flashing going right now, and we're also at full power. I'm going to go ahead and knock down the power to low. And back to high. And then to park. And out of park. And that just gives you a little bit of what we can do with carbide. Again, we're getting the change of the flash pattern and everything on the perimeter lighting around the vehicle with the light bar. The carbide system obviously much more in tune to those advanced processes. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and we appreciate you following along. Hopefully you learned a little bit of something today, kind of going over more of a budget build versus a little bit more of an extravagant build. This is what you can get. Obviously, there are price differences involved. However, there are some similarities, some functions that we can build into even these budget-friendly projects. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd like to see your comments below. Hopefully we'll get back to them as soon as we can. If you have any questions, give us a shout, 717-473-3843. Thanks and have a great day.